Hi, and welcome to Tonya Creates. My name is Tonya Edit. In today's video, I'll be showing you how to create a bent shadow effect in Adobe InDesign. So let's dive in and see how that is done. All right. So first of all, I have opened or created a new document in InDesign. And what I would like to do, I would like to create a frame, rectangular frame, because I want to create a shadow that is rectangle. And as you can see here, I have a white fill already. Let me show you from the color swatches. There's a white paper fill. Next up, we're going to go in to the effects panel, and I click on my effects and I click on drop shadow. Let me move this out a bit. Let's just see shadow. All right. Next up, we're going to do some adjustment. Let me just take this down a bit. And the distance, I changed that to 0. I'm just typing 0. For the options under size, I will just increase this to 2 millimeters. Now, these dimension values may be in picas, depending on what you're using, or inches, but just make these adjustments. So next up, we're going to make sure that object knocks out shadow is unchecked, because if you don't uncheck that, you will not really get the kind of effect we are going for. Next off, we go to transparency, and I change under the basic blending, the mode, I change that to multiply, and we see that it takes off the white. So we are now seeing the shadow completely. So next up, we are going to now finalize this effect by going to the scripts panel. Once I click on the scripts panel, now one thing I would like you to note is that you may not have your scripts panel at the side or the panel beside. So what you do, you go into window, under utilities, scripts, click on scripts, and your panel shows up. When it shows up, you drill down till when you get to path effects. So I double click on path effects, and I make sure my effect is set to punk. Well, normally punk is normally the default. So if that is already set for you, let that be. If it's not, make sure you click on punk. Then you go to the options where you have offsets from center point, and we change this to 90%. 90, and we click OK. And you see our effect has already been applied. Now, how do we use this? I will bring in a picture so that you see how that looks. Let me replace that. Let me just make it a little bit smaller. All right. Let me drag in, just crop it a little bit. Then I bring in the shadow and I send it to the back by right clicking, arrange, bring, send to the back. If this was in front, what I would do is that I go to arrange, send to back. Then that is the effect we're going for. Now we could add something else. We could go to the outline and create like a border for the picture. Let me bring this out a little bit. And I press my W to see the preview, how it looks. Now you can see it's looking quite nice. Now, one thing you need to note is that this is a live effect. You can actually go back to the effects panel, increase the opacity, increase the distance. All depends on what you want to achieve. Increase the size. You can even add noise, and what have you. Add noise. Increase the spread. You can just play around with it. Now, one other thing that I want to show you, in a situation where you need this to be kept, maybe you want to reuse it in other projects, you can easily save it as a snippet. So let me take out this picture. I'll just move it to the side and make sure this is selected. I go to File, Export. Then I make sure this is changed to InDesign snippet. Then I give it a name, bent shadow. Now I had done this before, so that's why bent shadow is the name that is in my file name area. So I save this and I'm done. So I can actually delete this. Maybe I have another project I'm working on. Let me bring out a picture, say a series of pictures. Let me drop this here. Let me get another picture. Let me take this too. So how do I bring in the shadow that I applied? I just go to File, Place, and I navigate to where I saved the bent shadow. Open, and I could just drag or click to drop it in. Let me move this. Let me increase this. And since it's a live effect, I can actually reduce it, increase it. So let me just reduce it to this size. Arrange center back. I can give this a frame just to add a little more effects. Let me zoom in. Bring this out. And that concludes my effect for today. I can copy it here and apply same effects, arrange, send to back. Okay, and we have that effect completed. So one thing I want to advise or encourage you to do: play around with these things. You know, whatever you've learned today, play around with it, try out things and see what you come up with. I hope you enjoyed and you learned something important today. Don't forget to share, like, and subscribe to my channel, because every week I bring you new videos. Take care and have a nice day.